Hello there, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Jacob, and welcome to my class on Pokemon biology. Joining me here today in the classroom, as he always does, is my wonderful teaching assistant, Mr. Curtis. Say hello to everybody, Mr. Curtis.
Thank you, Professor. Oh, I can't wait to tell you how excited I am for this class.
Okay, well, you can tell me now. You don't have to wait to tell me. You can just tell me how excited you are now.
I'm just so excited to be here and to be here and to participate. I know the last couple lessons you've been, kind of drawing names from a hat, and I just want you to know I'm ready to go.
You see, I thought about that, and you know, it's.
I mean, Professor, I've put in a lot of work this time.
I know.
I wrote up an essay. I've been reading over the entries. I'm ready to really. Bring the heat, so they say. Bring the spores.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I thought about it, and I think I'm gonna go back to reading the Pokedex entries this time.
But Professor,
so unfortunately, an essay won't be necessary.
Professor, please. Professor, I've put so much work into this. This is literally the only thing I've been doing for the last week, Professor.
Wow. That's a lot of time
You
and
two
effort.
for two classes. You let Corbin read answers.
I didn't know. It just so happened, random chance, that Corbin did. By the way, the other person in the classroom is our trainer in training, Corbin. Please go ahead and say hello to everybody, Corbin.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Sorry, voice cracked there. I think I'm going through a growth spurt. For some reason, notice my voice getting higher as I get older. Kind of weird. It's like I'm aging in reverse. I don't get it.
He is evolving,
if you will. Yeah, but it's good to be here. Last two lessons were fun. I'm glad I got to read the Pokedex entries. I felt like I was on top of the world. I felt like I knew more than the professor. It felt good. It was a good feeling like I was in charge reading the Pokedex entries.
That's the power. That's the power that the Pokedex has, and it's great for, a new person to find it.
Corbin,
okay?
Having power over the professor, knowing more than professor. What a joke.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, of course, it's delusions of grandeur, but, we let him have it a little bit if he wants it.
Thanks.
As far as your essay goes, Mr. Curtis,
yes, I'm ready. I'm ready to present. It's 6 pages long.
Oh, God.
I have a PowerPoint slide here for you.
No.
I'll think about it, and I may let you give a shortened version during the unsourced, uncredited article section of the lesson.
An abstract, if you will.
An abstract, sure, an abstract.
I mean, okay, so the abstract's only 1 page long, so I can do that.
That'll do.
What's the font size?
It's 7.5.
Oh God, that's such a small font size.
In Arial. Single space lines, 0.5 margins.
All right, I need you to double space it.
0.5?
I need you to double space it for me, and I need you to increase the font size to 20.
That's the best
way.
Large.
I think we need it. That's the best way.
And bold it. Yeah, it has to be bolded too.
Bold it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, all right. That's enough goofing around. I think it's time that we get down to brass tacks and do what we came here for, and that is learn about Pokemon biology. Does anybody know what Pokemon we're talking about today?
Yep, you just said it. Brass tacks. What Pokemon is that?
It's nope. No, it's not.
You said let's get down to brass tacks.
I mean, that's a figure of speech. It's a figure of speech. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I guess if you learn nothing else in this class, you've at least learned that brass tacks is a figure of speech, meaning to get down to business.
Ah, gotcha. Well, hey,
Professor, don't worry. I know exactly with the Pokemon that we're learning about.
I'd be so disappointed if you didn't.
And that is, of course, Vileplume.
Well, Vileplume, yes, very very close pronunciation.
Because it's like a plum, right?
Curtis, I feel like you're gonna have to make some. You're gonna have to make some changes on your paper there if you spelt it with a plum instead of a plume in the name.
I guess it kind of looks like a plum. I guess it's not supposed to be though. It's definitely a flower. It definitely looks like. You know what? Why am I explaining to you what a Vileplume looks like? Let me just go ahead and show you.
Yeah, well, let's just whip that bad boy out.
Okay. Hold on. Let me put a mask on here real quick.
Yes, I also have my mask to put on.
Thank you.
Do we need masks?
Step up over here.
You'll be fine. You don't wait. Do you have allergies?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay,
Here,
well, that's great.
Okay.
Corbin, you can have this segment of extra spinnerack web I carry in my back pocket.
You know what?
as a
I'm gonna
handkerchief. Just
you
tie
can-
it around your
no,
face.
you can. I'm gonna put that on my desk. I'm gonna leave it there.
All right, Professor, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Here is a Vileplume.
Whoa! Hello!
boy.
Look at those big old
Now,
meaty petals. Is
I
that
just
meat?
wanna say-
Is that meat?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if that is like, fat that's a part of Vileplume, or if it's actually, like flower material, whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like a flower, but sorry, at first glance it looked like really, really fleshy, like man boobs or something. I don't know. Hi there, Vileplume.
Okay, well, don't get too close.
I'm not gonna get too close. Little beady eyes. It's got a cute smile though.
Man.
It looks a lot more like Oddish than Gloom did, which is interesting.
Yeah, I feel like Vileplume's evolution was like, all right, I understand that I looked terrible, but I'll go back to my roots and be a cute little baby, and I'm gonna look like this.
Listen to it walk around the room.
Oh
man.
yeah, listen, everybody be quiet for a second. You can hear it.
Yeah.
Hear that kind of like slapping.
Yeah.
Flapping and flapping noise.
That is Vileplume's flower petals moving up and down. Now, you may notice that the air in here is starting to get a bit yellow. That's why we have the masks. Because Vileplume's spores and pollen actually causes paralysis. And really, really bad allergies. So,
allergic reactions.
Yeah,
cool.
So, as long as none of us are experiencing that, then it should be fine. I do want to mention right off the bat that that this Vileplume, no relation to Jerry. All right, Jerry, the previous Oddish that used to be the manager of the groundskeeping department here at school. Of course, we did have to fire him. He is banned from school grounds now. So this is not him. Not related in any way.
Gotcha. Hey, I don't want the spores to get out of the classroom. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna close the. Mr. Curtis, can you actually get up and close the door? I can't move my legs. I need you to do that for me.
That's interesting.
That's unfortunate. Here, hold on. Yeah, let me get the door for you.
Actually, can you please help Corbin out of his chair, Mr. Curtis?
I don't need to move. You just need to do it, Mr. Curtis. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
You just need to get those legs moving, and you'll be fine.
Okay,
Lean on me.
All right, I'm grabbing the door, and I'll close it. There we go. Okay, put me back down. Put me back in the chair. In the chair. No, not on the floor. In the chair.
Right here on the floor.
No, this is not my desk. Okay.
I'm starting to wonder if this
Cool.
This is because of Vileplume's petals. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and put Vileplume back into the Pokeball. I think
that's
we've got
probably
a
a good idea.
All right, let me go open the window real quick.
Yeah, let out some of these spores.
Oh, much better. I love the breeze. I can take off my mask now.
Okay, yeah. All right. Perfect. Okay, all right. I think we're ready to actually start learning about this Pokemon. We got it up close and personal with it. But let's take a look at these Pokedex entries, starting, of course, with the Kanto region. Are you okay? Can you hear me okay from down there on the floor, Corbin? Is that good?
I can hear you fine. I can't move half my mouth though.
That's okay.
I can't lift my arms. My heart has drastically slowed down.
Cool. He's just chilling then.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I've documented that a Vileplume's spores, the effect from it will go away after about 1 minute and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, just almost weird. It's almost the exact amount of time required for me to read one region's Pokedex entries. It's weird how it works out like that.
Yeah, it does actually.
That's convenient.
It is convenient. Yeah, that's how I would say. So let me just go ahead. Okay, let me just go ahead and read the Kanto region Pokedex entries. God, he's breathing very loudly. The larger its petals, the more toxic pollen it contains. Its big head is heavy and hard to hold up. The next one says, flaps its broad flower petals to scatter its poisonous pollen. The flapping sound is very loud. We saw that firsthand.
Yeah.
Very true.
Slapping and flapping.
Flapping and clapping, as I like to say. The last one here says, scatters allergy-causing pollen from its broad petals. The larger the petals, the more pollen is scattered. Okay, all right, so that does it for the Kanto region. Hey, you doing better there, Corbin? Feeling better?
A little bit. It's coming back a little bit.
good.
I can actually move my arms now. Give me another minute and I can get back in my chair.
You see, it's good. It's good that you're only experiencing, paralysis. It could have been a lot worse. You could have been sneezing a little bit. That would have been horrible.
No, that didn't happen. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Thank God. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Johto region. In the Johto region, they say that it has the world's largest petals. All right, pretty impressive, right? With every step, the petals shake out a heavy clouds of toxic pollen. The next one says, the bud bursts into bloom with a bang. It's like the bud of its petals, not like its friend, not like its buddy. That would be gruesome and horrible to experience.
Okay, hold on. No, I'm sorry. I'm okay. What did you say? The bloom bursts on the boo. What? What did you say again?
You were close, but you know what? Let me go ahead and read it again.
Okay.
The bud bursts into bloom with a loud bang. Yeah. It then starts scattering allergenic poisonous pollen.
Now, does it just do that on default, or does it like make itself do that on purpose?
If it's just kind of sitting still, it's not going to do that. But once it starts flapping around, that's when it comes out.
So this is one of those Pokemon that's just like toxic by default.
Yeah, it's very similar to Butterfree, if you guys remember how I wouldn't allow Butterfree.
Yeah, we had to go outside for that. Oh,
yeah,
Butterfree! It's been so long since I saw Butterfree the Butterfree.
I really didn't think that far forward with Vileplume. I've really been getting lax with the safety in my classroom, and I need to get it together.
That's okay. I fill out the incident forms for you, Professor.
Okay, it's okay. Always, I mean,
you're always very forgiving.
You've been lax since the beginning. We literally in like week 6 we had a Charizard literally destroy half this classroom.
That was not my. How is that my fault? Sometimes Charizards are hard to control, and sometimes they're gonna break through classroom doors. I don't know what you want from me.
I want safety. I demand it, actually.
Well, then you should not be a Pokemon trainer.
Nah, I'm gonna do it
for various reasons, but that being the main one.
That was weird.
Okay. Where was I? By shaking its big petals, it scatters toxic pollen into the air, turning the air yellow.
Gross.
Yeah.
This ripple. Did you see the ripple effect in its petals when it was walking around here? It was just like,
and also the shimmer too. It was like really like a great like particle effect.
Kind of glossy, kind of what you'd expect from the Oddish that can tell if the soil's good.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. I guess so. So maybe yeah. I remember.
Good.
Maybe this Vileplume grew up in a place that had really rich, fertile soil. Who knows? I don't. Because I just got it from a friend. I didn't raise this Vileplume. When am I, a Pokemon breeder? Come on.
What friend are you getting these random Pokemon from at will?
Various friends. I have lots of friends. Okay.
Yeah, Curtis,
right.
He said he had friends.
Okay.
A lot of them.
The professor. Listen, the professor has all the friends he needs. Okay.
Which is like
and they consist of Mr. Curtis,
Curtis.
My uncle who runs the Pokemon daycare.
I'll be honest, that's where I get most of these Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
And who's definitely not who's definitely a real person. And then of course
and not you in a different trench coat.
That's right. And then Gary, of course, the Shroomish.
Oh, well, okay, but Gary is friends with everybody.
Yeah.
But that doesn't Gary can be friends with everyone and he can still be friends with Gary. It doesn't disingenuine your friendship with him.
I don't think that's a word, but I get what you were trying to say.
Okay, fine. You do have friends, but I think 3 of the people that you mentioned were still you, Curtis.
I think that's right. Okay,
I'm all that the professor needs.
Let's not talk about my depressing social life and instead move on to the Hoenn region Pokédex entries.
Yeah, I think that's not something we need to talk about. How's your sex life, Professor?
No. All right. Vileplume's
Well,
toxic...
let me tell you, Corbin. I keep copious notes on all of the professor's comings and goings, as we say.
I'm gonna vomit. I'm actually gonna vomit. Anyways, this is the Hoenn region, by the way. I said that a while ago, but a lot of people have been interrupting me with very rude statements. Vileplume's toxic pollen triggers atrocious allergy attacks. That's why it is advisable never to approach any attractive flowers in a jungle, however pretty they may be. So, if you ever find yourself in a jungle and you see like just a giant flower, like 90% of the time that's going to be a Vileplume.
Okay, good to know. Next time I'm near the Amazon rainforest, I will. I'll steer clear.
Amazon, really? Where's that? I've never heard of that before. It sounds amazing. Amazon.
I know.
Shut up.
Sounds like
Sorry.
a precious environment that needs to be protected at all costs.
I agree. So I'm gonna stay away from the Vileplumes that probably most likely live there.
Well, let me give you a little bit more about like another reason why you should stay away from the pretty flowers. So Vileplume has the world's largest petals. We know that. They're used to attract prey that are then doused with toxic spores. Once the prey are immobilized, this Pokemon catches and devours them.
Whoa.
Okay. Catches and excuse me, devours.
Yes. So again,
its
I
prey?
think we knew last time that Gloom is a carnivore, eats prey, right? And it seems that Vileplume is continuing that trend as it devours the prey that it like brings in with its pretty petals, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to take down something big. It's going to be something like I could see it taking down like maybe like a Butterfree, maybe a Beedrill. That's a little bold.
But the thing is, a Butterfree is bug and flying type, and those are both extremely effective against a grass type, which is what Vileplume is.
Well, yeah, that's its advantage. I mean, that's the ultimate, like alpha strategies to take down something that you're normally weak against and then eat its body. That's crazy. That's so metal. I can't even describe it to you. Like,
yeah.
wild.
I wonder, do you think, I don't think Vileplume has any teeth. It probably just like eats the thing whole and then lets its stomach acids just dissolve like a Butterfree whole. Like,
or it probably, what it might do, we'd have to observe this. Butterfree might break the skull of whatever Pokemon that it captures and suck the brain fluids out. I think that's probably more likely than anything.
Well, but it says devour, making me think that it consumes the entire thing.
Sure, okay. Second option.
Yeah.
Grinds up the Pokemon prey into a soup, and then it drinks the soup.
Okay, I doubt that.
I mean, it almost sounds like you've never seen a Vileplume take massive chunk bites out of paralyzed Pokemon.
What the fuck is a Vileplume?
You know, it's related to that Orlando fella.
That's right. Yeah, you've never seen a wild Vileplume take massive chunks of flesh bites out of paralyzed Pokemon.
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, me neither. I've never been to jungles where they frequently live. So no,
it is horrifying.
Well, I'm gonna find a Vileplume. I'm gonna take Professor's Vileplume that he showed us today in class. I'm gonna put it in your backyard, Mr. Curtis, with all of your Spinnerax, and we'll see how it happens. We'll see firsthand how a Vileplume hunts.
I have to give this Vileplume back, and I don't want it to be devoured by Mr. Curtis's
army.
Yeah, his army of the
night, as we call it.
It's horrible.
Just for any new students that might not be aware, Curtis, you're referring to your colony of genetically and unethically modified super Spinnerax and Ariadoses that is totally not authorized by any government or, research facility. You're just doing this independently.
I mean, would it be ethical to let such potential not be fulfilled by a line of superbred Spinnerax?
Listen, what he's trying to say, Mr. Curtis, is that you're playing Arceus, and that never ends well. All right.
Yeah.
Listen, I think we're gonna read a newspaper article here at some point that says, sad man was found eaten alive in his home by what appears to be the world's strongest Spinnerax.
Look, I think the most ethical thing that could happen is you and your entire home burning down with all your Spinaracks in it. But that's beside the point. Professor, please continue.
Listen, when Giratina comes for me, that is the day I will stand and defend my actions to nobody else.
Okay.
Wow.
The Night Mother will reign again.
Let's follow that up with another Pokedex entry here from the Hoenn region.
Sorry.
Whew. Sure. Jesus. All right.
A lot was said. In seasons, when it produces more pollen, the air around Vileplume turns yellow with the powders. With the powder. Wait, hold on. Such a weird word.
You got this.
In seasons when it produces more pollen, the air around a Vileplume turns yellow with the powder as it walks. That's what it says. With the powder.
The what is the powder?
I'm lost in the powder, man. It's like that's how a snowboarder describes like a fresh like coat of snow. The powder, brah.
What powder? It's like talking about that we know about a constant powder.
It's like pollen. It's pollen.
Okay, so the fumes or the spores blend into the powder, if you will, or pollen.
Yeah, pollen, powder. I think they're interchangeable.
I don't think so. Pollen is an actual thing. Powder is something that's used to describe something.
Yeah, and is pollen not powdery?
Mm-hmm. It is, but like that would be like interchanging the word liquid for milk. Milk is a liquid, but not every liquid is milk. Not every powder is pollen, but pollen is a powder. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, but you can say like that's a glass of liquid there and still be correct.
We'll see.
Oh God. Okay. The last part of this entry says the pollen is highly toxic and causes paralysis, and then the last entry in the Hoenn region says its petals are the largest in the world. It fiendishly scatters allergy-causing pollen from its petals. So this makes it sound like it's doing this on purpose and with evil intent.
Wow. This thing sucks.
Yeah, I honestly, Vileplume is a lot more evil than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah. Those evil red eyes.
Beady. Piercing.
Tiny.
Stop fucking copying me.
Sorry.
All right, moving on to the Sinnoh region, there's only one here. It doesn't really add much. It just says its petals are the largest in the world. As it walks, it scatters extremely allergenic pollen. Everything else is pretty much the same in the Unova, in the Kalos, and in the Kalos and Alola region. There are some in the Galar. But it's pretty much the same. It just says it has the world's largest petals. With every step, the petals shake out heavy clouds of toxic pollen. And that's going to do it for the regional Pokedex entries. We, of course, have some unique Pokedex entries here.
How unique are they?
Well, it's the only one of their kind, so I would say literally the definition of unique.
Sweet.
This first one comes to us from, actually it's the first and only one, comes to us from Ash's Pokedex. It says, Vileplume, the flower Pokemon. Using the largest flower petals in the world, it spreads large clouds of pollen that cause allergic reactions. Now there's a little addendum to this entry that talks a little bit about something called the salvio weed. Salvio weed. SALVEYO. Salvio weed.
Okay.
It says that it's an effective stun spore antidote that can be made by boiling the leaves. An effective stun spore antidote can be made by boiling the leaves of the salvio weed. Salvio weed is found on clear lake bottoms wherever Vileplume live. Poliwag are also found in the vicinity of this plant.
Okay, so if you had some of that salvio weed,
yes,
and boiled it, then I could have eaten it and not been paralyzed.
Man, that would have been a great thing to think about and enact.
Yeah, you should have probably brought some of that to class, assuming that Vileplume would paralyze somebody.
Yeah, if I was better at thinking on my feet and improvising, that's probably something that I would have done.
Yeah, you're not really good at that.
If I had recalled,
does that mean every paralyze heal ever made, like anyone that you buy at Pokemart, like does that mean they all have the salvio weed in it?
What am I, a chemist? I don't know. I don't know what they put in stuff. I just drink it all down. Tasty, tasty.
Sorry, I'm asking questions that are way too big for you to handle, Professor.
Far beyond my pay grade.
Yes.
And if you don't know the answer to it, and it's far beyond my pay grade, then how far beyond your pay grade is it?
I don't get paid. I paid to be here.
Exactly. Yeah, that is true.
That's
you
right.
Pay a lot
now
of money to be here.
remember your place, Corbin.
I will. Jeez. Okay.
All right, that does it for the Pokedex entries. So now it's time for the unsourced, uncredited article.
Ooh, Professor.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I guess
I will it down for you, Professor.
I'll let Mr. Curtis read it this time. I'll let him read whatever monstrosity he's created. No PowerPoint, though, and it has to be, short, succinct, a summary of the 6 or 8 pages of what you wrote.
Okay.
And it's got to be on Vileplume, not Vileplume.
Or Vileplume.
Not that either.
Vileplume, please.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Aye.
Gosh, I've been training for this. I've been ready for this for weeks now.
Just do it.
Vileplume is the big red flower Pokemon. It's mostly a big red flower with one thick trunk that contains its face and mouth, with its creepy red beady eyes. Attached to the aforementioned indigo trunk are 2 very basic arms and basic feet, but really, the flower is where the action happens. Its petals are the largest in the world, and practically too big for the rest of the body to support. And in the center of this massive red flower with white dots is the orangish brown hole of death, from which all evil spills forth in the form of nasty, nasty pollen. Vileplume can generate this nasty pollen on demand and is known to release it with every step it takes. This pollen can cause severe allergic reactions in humans and is toxic to other Pokemon. It uses this Pokemon to paralyze its prey before devouring it.
Now you said it uses this Pokemon. Did you mean it uses this pollen?
Oh, excuse me. It uses this pollen to paralyze its prey before devouring it. Trust me, you don't want to see that. It's horrifying. Luckily, they aren't that common in the wild because they evolve via evolution stone.
That's true.
And you can avoid them if they are moving because you can hear the loud, flappy, slappy sounds of their petals that their petals make as they walk. Trust me, if you hear what sounds like a wet newspaper hitting concrete out front of your house, you better run because death is on the way.
Wow. Was that it?
That was it.
Wow. Good job.
Bravo.
Mr.
Bravo.
Curtis, thank you for bringing the boombox to class and playing that song along with it. That made it 1,000 times more terrifying. I don't know where you got the chains from, and I don't know why you were rattling them with one hand. But hey, it added to the effect.
Yeah, it was great, and I like how I didn't even know we had like dimmer lights. I didn't know that we could do that for these lights.
Yeah, he really brought out the stops, man.
Yeah, and it's raining outside now. Like, was it raining before or?
I don't know. Oh wait, hold on.
That was thunder.
Oh hey, it's Gary the Shroomish on the roof with a hose. Good job, Gary.
Oh, okay.
Good job, Gary. Good job,
Classic Gary. Did you get Gary in on this with you, Mr. Curtis?
Listen, Gary was helping me out, okay? He and I have been brain shopping.
Yeah, what?
Or workshopping.
What
excuse
the
me.
fuck? Brain shopping?
Brain shopping?
Did you mean to say brainstorming?
No, brainstorming and workshopping.
Oh God!
And putting together a great.
Yeah, we've been
idea.
brain shopping and workstorming.
Oh,
that's right. Also, I had Gary like hold up a screen to kind of dim the exterior lights.
Oh, okay.
And the poly world that lives in the pond here at the school.
Yeah.
I had Daryl. Yeah, Daryl. he kind of hides at the bottom because he's really kind of trespassing. I traded him some of my old poffins to have him use Rain Dance as I started the song.
Okay. So then why was Gary needed for the hose?
Yeah, we really have conflicting events going on here. I think we should probably just choose one.
Did you just tell Gary to be a part of it to make him feel good?
Yeah, I mean, he was also holding the screen up to kind of block some of the light.
And he also was shaking it a little bit to make that thunder noise that we all heard. That was very loud.
Very good. All right, good job, Gary. Thanks, Gary.
And good job, Mr. Curtis. That was excellent. I didn't ask for this essay, but it really shows me that you are trying to go the extra mile. So step it up, Corbin.
For you, Professor, I would go that mile. And 500 more.
Well, let's put that to the test, because right now we're going to do a pop quiz.
Pop it up.
All right, so go ahead, put away your Pokedexes and your notebooks and all the notes that you've taken. I know you take a lot of copious notes.
Get popped.
Of course.
Get out your Rotom laptops, some pencils, some paper, and get ready to take this quiz.
Let's take it.
I'm ready.
All the way.
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1. What are Vileplume's large, beautiful petals used for? All right. Both of the answers are in. Let's go ahead and read Corbin's first. He says, the petals are used for spreading pollen and spores around, where Curtis responded with, Vileplume uses its large, beefy petals to spread its evil pollen to unsuspecting victims. Okay, so you guys kind of had similar answers here. It's to spread pollen. Now, that's not exactly correct. That's not what the petals are used for. What? Now, see, the petals are used to attract the prey. All right?
Okay.
Now, I will give you points since you both answered the same thing. What is the pollen used for? What does it use the pollen for? You can answer this. I will give you... Type it in.
Oh, okay. What the pollen is used for?
Yes. If you can get this right, then I will give you points for this question. I understand that this one might have been a little bit cryptic.
Yeah, you kind of messed up there a little bit, Professor.
No. I did not mess up. All right.
That was on you.
I am being generous here. All right. Spreading pollen is not the purpose of the petals. It's just something that the petals do. It's not the purpose of the petals.
All right.
Okay. So, to answer what the pollen does, Corbin responded with, the pollen is used for paralyzing prey, aka me. Sure, yeah, I guess it did do that. And then Curtis said, Vileplume uses its pollen to immobilize its prey so that it can devour its prey. Yes, so it uses its pollen to immobilize the prey, and it uses its petals to attract the prey. That's what it uses them for.
Makes sense.
Okay. And you guys are right in saying that the petals do spread out the pollen. It does come from the petals, but that's not that's not their main purpose.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. All right. Well, do we get full credit for that one?
Yes, I'll give you full credit for that one.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Professor.
Yes.
I will ever strive to do better in your eyes.
I'll do better if I feel like it.
Just think about your answers a little bit more before you just go ahead and blurt them out.
All right.
I'm kidding. Question number 2. Vileplume can end up being a very loud Pokemon. Name 2 noises they are known to make. I'm sure Mr. Curtis is going to do excellent on this, since I'm sure this was included in his 6-page essay that he wrote, and he just didn't get time to include it in his shortened version. All right, both of the answers are in. So Corbin responded with the 2 sounds that a Vileplume is known to make are, 1, a burst sound from its spore hole on top of its head. I
couldn't think of the name.
Spore hole. And then 2, flapping, slapping noises from the petals flopping up and down. And then Mr. Curtis says, the petals make a flapping noise as they flap and slap together. God, you guys just love doing that, don't you?
We do.
And they produce a loud banging noise as their blooms burst. So yes, it was the blooms bursting, not necessarily their spore hole.
I thought the spore hole was bursting.
It was the bloom. It said
Corbin,
the bud bursts into bloom with a bang. So when it
that's
blooms,
a lot of bees. All right, I did burst. I got burst in there.
Yeah,
we'll count it.
Corbin, the technical term is orangish brown hole of death from which all evil spills forth.
Okay, all right.
Don't listen to him. That's not the technical term.
All right, so burst bloom. It bursts
bud.
blooms.
The bud bursts.
The bud
into
bursts
bloom.
The big bud bursts blooms.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Is that it?
Okay, so the next question number 3.
Did I get it right?
Yeah. You guys both got points for that. Good work.
Sweet.
I was worried you guys were gonna forget about the loud bang noise altogether. So
I wouldn't forget about that burst. I wouldn't forget about that big bloom burst.
Bud. Oh, how do you forget the word bud every single time?
The big bud burst bloom. I wouldn't forget about that.
Bursting into bloom.
Bursting.
Big
What does that mean?
bud
Into
blus-
bloom. What does that mean? That sounds like somebody's reaching like
big
fucking sexual peak.
big-
Hey,
big bud
I'm 18.
bursting
I've
into
bursted
bloom.
into
Guys,
bloom.
please. Hey, everybody settle down. All right, this is getting out of control. You both got the point.
Is that what you say when somebody hits puberty? You burst into bloom?
I've never said that before. I don't think anybody has.
Big bud
you're probably
bursting
the
into
first.
bloom.
I think I should go ahead and read the next question.
I think you should.
So
I think that's safe.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Name the plant that is effective at curing Vileplume's paralysis effect and where it can be found. Hopefully you wrote this down.
So
Because I definitely would not remember it if I didn't write it down.
I can remember what it's called. Hopefully I'm spelling it right.
Probably not.
All right, both of the answers are in. Corbin responded with the Silveo root. Silveo. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah, he said Silveo root or something. It can be found at the bottom of lakes next to Vileplume and Poliwag habitats. Curtis responded with Salveo weed can cure the effects of stun spore, and they are found at the bottom of bodies of water. So yeah, you are both correct.
Wow, I like completely almost. I knew it was something with like an S and a Si and then a
I
Veo. I literally just put a bunch of like letters together, and it just happened to be right.
I mean, I'll say that.
It's
I'll say
pretty
this.
funny.
I totally knew it.
I'll say this, Corbin. You did spell it wrong. You didn't spell it correctly. But I knew what you were trying to say.
Corbin.
Oh my god, I'm so shocked I got that right. I mean, I know my stuff.
And technically, it's not at the bottom of any body of water. It's at the bottom of clear lakes. So I could be really shitty and not give that to you.
You could be,
but
but you're not gonna be. I don't think.
I am gonna give you the points because it was close enough. And that's
Sweet.
That's what
Thank
we
you,
say
Professor.
here in Professor Jacob's classroom. Close enough.
Close enough.
Close
That's
enough.
right.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
The
you,
last one
Professor.
is a deceptively difficult true or false question. So make sure you're paying attention.
All right, paying attention. I'm
All right.
in.
Okay.
Zoned
Gotcha.
in right here, Professor.
Zoned in.
All
Tuned
right.
in. Ramped up.
Heard me up.
True or false? The larger a Vileplume's petals, the more toxic its pollen is.
Did we talk about this?
We did. Maybe. I have the answers from both of my students to
do?
this true or false question. But the answer from Corbin to this true or false question was false. He says that it's false that the larger a Vileplume's petals are, the more toxic the pollen is. And Curtis responded with a little bit more information. He said, false. The pollen is not more toxic, but the larger the petals, the more toxic pollen they contain. That's exactly correct, Mr. Curtis. So the Pokedex entry specifically states the larger its petals, the more toxic pollen it contains.
Okay.
Right? And there was another one that says the larger the petals, the more pollen is scattered. So it does.
Right.
say
That
it.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Corbin, I don't know whether or not you just guessed on that one, but regardless, you got it
No,
correct.
I'm pretty sure I knew it was false. I knew it was false.
Okay.
I was like, we didn't talk about that. I don't think that's. how
We
it's
did
spelled.
talk about it.
Well, I'm saying like we didn't talk about
did.
that being true. That's what I meant.
All right, you guys did very well on this quiz. I did try to troop you up a few times here and there, but you did an excellent job. 100s for both of you.
Excellent.
I'm very, very
Thank
proud.
Very nice.
Thank you, Professor. I really tried hard on this one.
Yeah, and you did a great job. And hey, can I just say, excellent essay, Mr. Curtis.
Very
love
good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it when a student, takes the extra effort.
I'll put the other 5.5 pages on your desk for you to read kind of
Good job, Curtis. Love the theatricals. Really sold your points there.
And to that point, I'm very eagerly looking forward to the essay that Corbin has written on Voltorb, which he promised us that he wrote
What?
during Jigglypuff lesson, if you recall correctly.
Yeah.
Wait, when's Voltorb?
I mean, it's a ways away, but you already wrote the essay.
Oh, yeah. I already wrote
Right.
that. Yeah, a long
Yeah,
time
so,
ago.
I mean, it is a ways away, so we're not going to talk about it for
Right.
a couple weeks, maybe months, maybe a year. I don't really know. But that does it for today's lesson. If you have... oh, wait, I should say, what Pokemon are we talking about next time? It does nothing to do with Vileplume or Oddish, even though Oddish does have another evolutionary form. We're long time away.
I know this one, Professor.
Yeah,
I know this one.
Do you? I don't know if you do.
As the self-proclaimed insect Pokemon specialist,
Self-proclaimed,
I am happy to announce that the next one will be a bug type, and that bug type will be paralyze.
I'm sorry. What did you? I did not understand what you just said. Can you repeat it for me?
Yeah, please.
It's paralyze.
Oh, Paris.
Paras.
Yes.
Cool.
We're learning about
Paras.
Paris, which is a bug, grass type Pokemon. Yeah, very interesting. So we'll be learning about that next time. And that does it for today's lesson. If you have any questions for me that you just didn't want to bother the class with, that's fine. You can email me directly at wwopokemon@gmail.com, which is of course a Gengar mail. I don't know why I said email before. That's such a weird slip of the tongue. But you can also contact me on the bird Pokemon themed social network site, Twitter, at wwopokemon there as well. If you enjoyed this lesson, you can go to...
I did.
And you're like, God, Professor Jacob is so great. Everybody else needs to know about him. You can go to rateyourprofessor.com and you can just give me a 4.0. That'd be really helpful. And I don't see that chili pepper by my name, so I'm a little bit insulted.
What about the Flapple? What about the Flapple website? Don't we need more?
Yeah. You can go to Flapple Podcasts too if you want to and give me 5 stars there. But really, hey, that Rate Your Professor thing, that's really important.
Yeah.
That's right.
Give him a rating. Give him a rating.
I mean, the website won't let me put any more ratings down, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's because you've been spamming the website, Mr. Curtis.
Yeah, and also they looked through his posting history and they were like,
Yeah.
we gotta get this guy.
They actually flagged him for being a stalker for Professor Jacob, so he has actually been banned from the website 6 times.
yeah. They sent me an email saying they
Oh,
thought I
what?
was
I'm
a
sorry,
bot.
what?
A Gengar mail.
Yeah,
excuse
okay,
me.
thank you.
And because they thought I was a bot because I kept posting the same review over and over again so many times in such a short period of time.
Maybe you should stop doing that.
But that does it for today's lesson. So until next time, class is dismissed.
Welcome to the World of Pokemon as part of the Pokecasters Network.